Welcome back. This is part 7 in how to design a timber frame using Fusion 360. In this segment, I'm going to create the wall braces, the braces that basically span across the top plates. So let's get started. We'll start with a quick review of where the model stands. And right now we have all of the bents created. And we also have the top plates sitting on all of our posts. So we are going to next move into braces. We'll do it along this wall, wall A first, and then we'll reproduce the braces in the other 3 walls. So I'm going to start off by activating wall A because I want my braces to be inside there. So I activate it and open it up. And in the same manner that we had an upper level component for our bent braces, I'm going to do the same for our wall braces. So let's take a look and see what we did in the bents. And we had a component named braces 4. Inside there, we had all of our braces. Okay, so let's do the same here. So I'm going to go to wall A. I'm going to create a new component. And I'm going to name it braces-A. So the braces in wall A. Okay, so that's automatically activated, which is good. So now we want to create a single brace inside that newly created component. So I create another component, and I'm going to call this wall brace. And once that's all finished, we're going to create exact copies of that brace and then rotate if necessary and put them in position. So I think I'm going to go up to this level here to do my sketches. That way the sketches won't get reproduced in all of these subordinate components. So I'm going to activate braces A. And I'm going to pre-select a plane to draw on, which is, let's say, the outside. Well, you know what? I was actually playing around with my selection. So right now I'm selecting components only, and I want to be able to select faces. So I'm going to go into select body, and I think another thing that I changed was in the selection filters. I'm going to select all of those. So this is back to its default setting, but something that I changed recently. Okay, so now I can select this surface, which is what I want, and then I create my sketch on that surface. So very similar to what we did the first time, I'm going to get my line tool, and I'm going to intersect here, tab, type in 45 degrees, and then intersect here. And then we need another line. So I'm going to do the same thing here and make sure that I get 45 degrees. Well, in this case, it's going to be what? Let's see if I can get that to go to 45. You know what? Actually, right now we're going to get a parallel constraint by just kind of hovering in the right position. You see kind of the 2 dashed lines there. So this line is now parallel to the first, so I don't have to worry about entering in, whatever the degrees were based on where we started. So next step, I'm going to get my dimension tool by pressing D and then making sure that these 2 lines are 6 inches apart. Okay, but I can move these lines anywhere I want here inside this right angle formed by the beam and the post. So I want to lock that in. And these particular braces in the wall are a different dimension. So I'm going to get my dimension tool, click on this point right here, click on this line. Nope, let me try that again. Okay, there it is. And I want this to be 2 foot 6 inches. So that's going to move both of my lines. And now if I hit escape, I've got a profile there that I can extrude. And I think that's what we did when I was working on the bent braces. But I want to streamline this process, so I'm actually going to do more in this sketch and see if we can extrude the entire brace from this one sketch. So in order to do that, let me clean things up a little bit. I'm going to put my 2'6" dimension down here, and I'm going to press L for line, intersect here, and come up vertical and type in 0.5. So this is going to represent the brace cutting into our beam here. So I'm going to go back to my line tool, and in this case I'm going to keep it horizontal, but I'm going to go too far purposely, and then click. Now if I take this line right here, I'm going to move this down because that's confusing. If I take this line and go up to modify and do an extend, it's going to extend that line till it intersects the horizontal line. And then I can press T for trim and cut this piece away. And now I'll get into my rectangle tool and I'll click here and go in this direction, tab over, and this is going to be 3 inches, so that's the length of our tenon. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and press enter there. So I made the tenon too big, but I'm going to use the same extend trick here, and I'm going to click on this line, go to modify, extend. It's going to extend the line until it reaches the end of this tenon. And then T for trim, and trim away these 3 lines. And now you can see we have the profile of not only the basic brace, but it extending into the beam and also the tenon, and is properly trimmed off. So we could try to mirror this, but we don't have a 45-degree plane here. We could make one, but I think at this point it's probably good practice to do this again. So we're still in the same sketch. I'll get my line tool, intersect here, come in and type in 0.5. Nope, I don't think I got what I wanted there, so I'm going to undo. I wanted a horizontal line. So I'll get back in my line tool, click here, press my dimension tool, D for dimension. Oops, I'm not in my dimension tool. There we go. So this is going to be a 1/2 inch. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to my line tool and go straight up beyond where I want to intersect with. I'll click on the check mark. I'll go up to extend, click on this line, T for trim, and trim that off. So now we have the proper inset into the post. And I'll go ahead and draw the tenon down here. So I'm going to start from this corner. I'm going to come up, and let's see, the depth horizontally here is going to be 3 inches, and I'll just press enter. This looks like it needs to go up a little bit, and I can still drag that. It's not fully constrained. So I can select this line and go to modify, extend, and it's going to draw the line down here. T for trim, trim these 3 little segments off, and I now have the proper profile on each end of the brace. So let's just take a look at that and make sure everything's fine. We've got 3-inch height. We've got a 1/2 inch into the timber here, and we have this vertical surface, the vertical line right there. Same thing here. We have our horizontal line going a 1/2 inch in. We've got our 3-inch tenon, and it's properly trimmed off. Okay, so that's all we need, that one sketch to do all of these braces. So I'm going to go in to my sketches folder, and I'm just going to name this brace. Okay, now the trick is in the extrusions here. Okay, so we want to go to this wall brace and activate that, because that's where the body for this brace is going to exist. Then we hit E for extrude, And now we start selecting our profiles. So obviously this one, but as I zoom in, I also want to extrude that part of the sketch. And here's the third extrude right here. So these are all going to be extruded the same distance. My arrow's going in the wrong direction, so this is going to be negative. And I'll type in -4 and press enter. And now we want to work on the tenons. So I'm actually going to hide, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to isolate this component right here. So that's all we see, but I can also turn the sketch back on that defined it. So the sketch is in the upper, component right above it. So I will turn that on. And there you can see that's what we want to extrude for our tenons. But we don't want this extrusion to start right here on the outside surface. We want it to start back 2 inches. So that's actually a feature in extrude. So when I hit E, we're going to select that face and that face. And then instead of starting from the profile plane, we are going to start from an offset from the profile plane. And that offset, I can see with my arrow, is going to be negative. So I want this offset to be -2 inches. And I want the distance of the extrude to be -2 inches from that offset. So if I click on OK and hide our sketches, you can see I've got what I want here. So I'm going to right click and unisolate that and make sure that looks right inside the frame, which it does. So now it's just a matter of reproducing this 5 more times and we'll be done with the braces in wall A. Okay, so we go up to our braces A component and let's just clean up a little bit. I'm going to close up bent 4, and here are our braces. And this is what we want to copy, this wall brace right here. And we want to copy it inside braces A. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to do a copy and then right click on the level above it and do a paste. I'm not doing a paste new. I don't want a new version of that component. I want the identical version. Okay. So then I get my movement arrows and I can move it out this way and I realize, okay, I've got to rotate this. So if I rotate this 90 degrees or -90 in this case, I've got it in the right orientation. So now if I go into set pivot and I come over here, I want this point right here, but you can see my arrows, I also need a horizontal arrow like I'm getting right here. So an easy way to deal with that is click on the point that you want and then use this rotation. And I should be able to rotate that a known number like, okay, 45 is going to give me what I want here. So I click on the green check mark and now I'm out of setting pivot and I can move horizontally and click on that surface, and there we are. We're a 1/2 inch in and also 1/2 inch here. So let's click on OK. We now have a second copy, identical copy of this wall brace. So now we can speed things up and do 2 at once. So I'm going to click here, shift click here. So I've got the 2 wall braces selected, the 2 existing ones. Right click, do a copy. Right click on braces A and do a paste. And now when we move away, we can see we have 2 more braces. So now we need to set a single pivot point. So I'm going to zoom in here and I lost my on-screen pivot point, but there's still one in the dialog box. So I select that and let's see if I can get it on the right spot. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to have to rotate again. So I'm clicking on that point and I'm going to rotate 45. and then click on the green check mark. Now move horizontally and click on that surface. Okay, so that should have positioned both in the right spot. So I'm going to click OK. And I look back in our browser, we now have 4 braces there. Let me scroll up a little bit in our browser. Okay, so we want 2 more braces here, so it doesn't matter which pair I select. I'm going to click on the original 2. So click, shift click, right click, copy. Go up to braces A and do a paste. And then move our copy, set our pivot to this point right here, rotate our arrows up to 45 degrees. Done with setting the pivot. Now move horizontally, select the post surface, and do an OK. So when we zoom out, we can see that we now have 6 braces in our wall. And now it's just a matter of cutting joinery and moving our braces to new locations. So it doesn't really matter which we do first. I think I'm going to cut our brace mortises right now. So I will go up to the combine feature, and I'm going to click on this first top plate, and then I go to my tool bodies and I select every brace that is going to intersect that. A weird thing happens here in that the braces temporarily get hidden, but if you hover over where it should be, you'll be able to click on it. So I'm selecting 3 braces as my tool bodies. I want to keep the tools and I want to do a cut, and I click OK. I'll do the same thing on this guy. I'll pre-select them, go up to combine. We've got our target body already pre-selected. I'll go to my tool bodies, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to keep our tools and do a cut. Okay. Now, we did not cut our housings and mortises down here yet. So we're going to do that next. So I'm going to select this post, go up to combine, and then select a single tool body, which is going to be this guy, and cut. For these 2 inner posts, I'm going to be selecting 2 cutting bodies. Oops. Tool bodies here and here. Oops. Misselected that. Okay, let me kill that. Let me kill that too. So our target body is right here. Our tool bodies are here and here. So click OK. Same thing here for this next post in Bent 3. Pre-select, combine, select our tool bodies, 1 and 2. And our final combine, picking this last post and picking the 1 brace that cuts into it. Okay, so you can see our housings are cut, and if I hide all of these braces at once, which I can do because we have a upper level component that they're all stuffed in, you can see all of our mortises and housings are cut on the posts and on the underside of our plates. Okay. So we are in good shape now, and we are going to copy these braces up onto the second plate, which will do all in one operation, and then do the same to walls C and D, and then go ahead and I might not actually show all of the cutting of all of those braces because it's a lot of busy work basically. So anyway, let's move on. Okay, so I did some experimenting in copying these braces and came up with something that I think works pretty good. The steps are I'm going to go to the next wall, create a component, and I'm going to call that braces dash B for wall B. That's inside wall B. Okay, and then open up these braces in wall A and select all 6 of them. So I did a shift here, a click here and a shift click here. So they're all selected. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to do a copy. And then I'm going to go to my new braces component and right click and do a paste. So these are going to be an exact copy. And now I can move these around. But I'm just going to exit right here. And in past videos, I think it's been kind of a struggle using the pivot point to get these in the proper position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to wall B and I'm going to make a sketch. So let me pre-select this surface right here. I'm activating wall B, pre-selecting, let me do that again, pre-selecting this beam right here. So this is going to be my sketch plane. I'll create a sketch inside wall B. And now I'm going to get my line tool and I'm going to start right here because this is, where the brace is going to go down 2'6" from that point. So I'm going to type in 2'6" and enter. And now we're going to have a point right here that we can use as a point-to-point move when we move all 6 of these guys. So I probably should have done that first, but let me finish the sketch. And now we've got our copy of the braces inside wall B, inside braces B. So I'll open that up. Let me collapse wall A. Okay, so here's 6 more braces. I'm going to click and shift click. So I've got all 6 selected. I hit M for move. And now I want to go into point to point. So if I zoom in, kind of behind. Okay, right here is the point that I want. So I'm going to select my origin point. And then I'm going to come up here and select this point from the sketch. And let's see what we get. When I click OK, that is actually aligned properly. So much easier than what we were doing last time. All right, so we have reproduced 1 set of braces. We've got 2 more to go. And these are a little bit different because these are going to be faced on this surface, and the tenons are going to be going the other way. So these are actually mirror images. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror these 6 over to this side and then mirror these 6 down to here. The mirror will give us another advantage in that it will locate them in the proper position too. So I think first I'm going to find that sketch that we just did and hide that. And now I want the braces from wall A again, and I'm going to, well, let me try I'm gonna do braces from wall B and go to wall C. So I'm opening up wall B, and I am selecting all 6 braces. Okay, and they're going to get mirrored. So now I'm going to activate wall C because that's going to be the destination of our mirror. And I guess I lost my selection there, but that's okay. So I activated wall C, and actually I'm going to open that up and create a new component in there, and that's going to be our braces C, so our top level braces component in wall C. So that is now activated. So that's going to be the destination of my mirror command. So I go up to mirror, and now it's saying capture position because we didn't capture the position of the last 6 braces that we moved. So I want to go ahead and capture those. So now it's saying pick your components. So I'm going to go over to, let's see, I want wall B. So these are the 6 braces I want. And I want to select a mirror plane. If I go up to the original origin, I can get this plane right here as my mirror plane. And now they're all located properly and the tenons should be flipped around. So that looks good. Let's also make sure that they are going inside right here. So let me go ahead and do an OK. And that's weird. They still ended up inside my braces B component. So let's see if we can manually move those. So I want them inside braces C. So I'm going to click, shift click, and drag these guys down to braces C, and that moved properly. Okay. So now all we have to do, let me close up wall B and C, and we're going to copy the braces in wall A, not copy, but mirror them to wall D. So last time I tried to select wall D and then select its new subcomponent. I'm sorry, last time I was working in wall C. Okay, so I'm in wall D. I'm going to make a new component. I'm going to call it braces-D. That's in the proper spot. That's going to be the destination of our mirror, but that didn't seem to work last time, so I'm not sure they're going to go there. But we can collapse wall C, we can go to wall A, and now I can say, okay, I'm going to create a mirror. I'm going to mirror components. I want to select the components I want to mirror. So those components are inside braces A. Select all 6 of those, and then select the mirror plane, which is this origin plane right here. So they show up in the right location in the model. Are they going to show up in the right location in the browser? We'll see in a second. And no, they showed up in braces A as well. So I'm going to select all 6 of those and simply drag them down on top of braces D inside wall D. Okay. Now I'm going to clean up the browser and let's take a look and make sure we didn't screw anything up. I will hide the origin. And now we should be able to hide wall A, top plate and braces. Wall B, same thing. C and D. And on any of those, we should be able to open up wall A and hide all the braces at once without the plates, which we can. So we're in pretty good shape here. And next, we're going to actually put some rafters on the building and then get into some construction drawings. But before we do that, I did forget to do all of the mortising in walls B, C, and D. So I will show you the mortising in wall B, which is pretty much the same as wall A, and then I'll leave it up to you to do wall B and C and D. Okay, so we've got these braces, and anywhere there's a brace in this wall, we need to use that brace as a cutting tool to cut into our component. So I'm going to go to Combine. I'm going to get the first post and Tool Bodies. I'm going to select this brace. Operation is Cut, Keep Tools, and OK. Then I'm going to go to this timber right here, the top plate. Also do a Combine. Top plate is our destination. Our tool bodies are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 braces and a post. Okay, working our way across here. I'm going to do another Combine with this top plate, and our tool bodies are 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 actually. Okay. And click OK there. And now let's see, we still have the posts to go. So I'm going to click on this post, pre-select it, go to combine, and pick these two tool bodies, the two braces. Let me try that again. I'll select my target body, select my tool bodies, first brace, second brace, okay, and then this last post. Combine and tool body. Okay. So now we should be able to turn off wall B braces. And take a look at our joinery. Actually, I think I missed this post. So I'm going to come back and do that. Everything else looks good. So let me turn the braces back on and do one last combine here, using this post as the destination and using these two braces as our cutting tools. And hide the braces again, and there's our mortises. Okay, so now we're finally finished with this video.